Come on, California, yeah. And I know, baby, every day, every night, and all the time. And I know, you ought to stop lying, stop lying.
Oh, that's right. Here it is Thursday again. And we're on LinkedIn Live. This is Pete Monfre, and every Thursday I'm live on LinkedIn talking B2B marketing at 11 o'clock Central Time, as we like to say. You know, I want to help you make better decisions. I'd like you to stop throwing your money away on marketing stuff that it's just never going to work and help you drive more opportunity to your business through better marketing practices, which we try to share here. But we have a topic today that I don't like talking about it because it sounds kind of too self-serving. It kind of sounds like I'm saying, everybody's a rip-off artist except us, right? But that's not what I'm saying. Lots of good, good firms out there, good consultants, good freelancers. But the thing is, we're seeing, we're seeing this problem when we're in the marketing business and we talk to clients all the time from across the country, and we talk about their businesses and we talk about numbers, and we get a sense of kind of what's happening in their marketing and what they've done before and what's working and what they think might work going forward, this kind of thing. And so we do see patterns in that, and it's getting kind of ridiculous, frankly, the stuff that we hear. Really, the frequency that we see clients, kind of unsuspecting clients, getting taken to the cleaners, kind of in the same ways over and over again, and not for pennies either. Like these are big dollar losses. We're not even counting the lost opportunity costs. For small mid-sized businesses that have really worked hard for every dollar. And part of this is a side effect of the marketing industry. We'll be the first to tell you that a lot of the reason for the existence of this podcast is we've been in the business for so long that we've seen everything. We see more because we've seen more. But the industry, in my opinion, is it's just off the rails. It's like the Wild West out there. But I found a great article, and I thought we would kind of break it down today. Let's see. This article is written by an attorney, and it's kind of her experience from the client's side of things with a so-called marketing consultant. You notice the title is in quotes. That's really from the article. That's Laurel Loomer, the title that she used, "How to Avoid Getting Ripped Off by a Consultant." In the article we're going to look at, she put the quotes in. That's her emphasis. And it might sound familiar, but the interesting thing to me is it confirmed a lot of the things that we talk about in the show, and it confirms a lot of what I hear coming back from the market. And what's very interesting about this, I think, to me personally, is we do webinars. We've often used webinars as a way to share knowledge, to try to deliver honest value to people and not have it be a sales pitch. And we work really hard on these things. And it's because it helps us create better educated clients, and frankly it's a lot easier to get great results when you have an educated client. So we really share our knowledge, but we think that we're an anachronism based on things like I'm reading here. And also, I've been checking out various different online presentations and webinars, right, on different topics, just to kind of see what's out there. I try to keep myself informed on what's happening, and I am absolutely amazed at how superficial they are. They, some of them are absolute sales pitches, and they're disguised as webinars. Like, we're going to teach you something, but really we're going to talk all about ourselves. But the funny thing that I noticed was everybody's like super caffeinated. You think I'm fired up. You should see these guys. They say a lot of words, and they say them really fast. But if you listen close, their words mostly about themselves and how awesome the world's going to be, and how great their clients are when they do something, and I think that's where the problem is. It's like they're never really that clear on the specifics. It's, like I said, very superficial, and we don't do that. Some hammer with a few, I've seen some that kind of like have a few slides that sort of hammer you with information, and they seem to get past those pretty quick if it does have some substance. And so, but otherwise, it's pretty fluffy stuff. And so, what I found is there's a lot of talking about the why of marketing things, and not enough about the how, which is what people want, and it's what this this attorney wanted. So, she got offered a free webinar, which is really a hard sell in disguise. So, let's take a look at this article. It's written in 2018, but I think it couldn't be more relevant, and it was interesting to read it. So she goes to a yoga class, and her and a number of other women, they meet someone they call Sally, and Sally invites them all to lunch, and she reads, "I was a little annoyed that she cornered me into a sales pitch without notice, but I was still intrigued by Sally's promises." So, Sally acting like a typical kind of salesman, doing the old bait and switch there. We talk about that on the show. This person, she says she was struggling at the time with the whole concept of marketing. So she's relatively new to it. So, and the information out there on marketing is strewn with statistics and a language filled with terms I did not understand. Now we talk about that all the time on the program, and this use of jargon and acronyms, and it's almost designed to confuse people. These 30-page reports, all right, and they're taking advantage of people that, like Laura in here. Did I get the name right there? Laurel. She says, it's just not her area of expertise. And if you see Laurel's website, we'll put a link to this down in the comments. You see, boy, she's no dummy, I'll tell you that. But marketing is not her thing. I'm trying to find my place. So, so this person kind of uses the approach where it's the baffle them with bullshit approach, and makes the audience think, wow, I should hire her. I'll never be able to do this for myself. Now, we maintain here all the time that you can definitely do this yourself. The data you get might not be as good as ours, and your analysis and conclusions might not be as objective as ours, but you can definitely do this stuff on your own. She offered us all a free webinar to give us information about marketing. I listened to the free webinar, and it was a long on talk of the promised land of more money and freedom, and very short on any real information as to how that would happen. Very much like her lunchtime sales pitch, at the end of the webinar, she encouraged everyone to contact her for a free strategy session. This was the third red flag. And the strategy session was the hard sell. And so, honestly, I don't know if people think they're being slick doing this stuff or what, but as I'm reading this, and this is from 2018, I just think about how often I see these same things. Signing up for a webinar and having somebody, they got that little haircut like a Cupid doll, right? And they're like bouncing off the walls with excitement, and they're mostly talking about themselves and their clients and how great they are and how great life is going to look. If you hire them, my God, they're going to change your life. Look, people, I'm not a magician, right? I mean, we can do magic tricks. We can do this, right? Do that, right? Nothing. Oh, how did he do it? I don't know. I'm not a magician. But the promises I hear being thrown about, we'll get you on the Google's, get you on the top of Google ranking in the next 30 days. We'll drive blah, blah, blah number of leads. And, it's very hard to navigate for clients, especially like Laurel. And, and she's, I think, more typical in that very high level of expertise in her area of business, or her subject matter expertise, but marketing has become a very complex endeavor for most B2B companies, and it doesn't matter if you're big or small, it's always complex. But here's what I really got a kick out of, because we do have a webinar coming up, and it's called The CEO's Guide to Marketing in a Recession. And so, and it's a great, we've packed this thing full of information because we don't do this. It says, so this person, oh wait, I'm skipping ahead a little bit. It says that's the strategy session. Okay, the webinar is just a sales pitch. The one we've coming up on November 9th is really the opposite of that. We just don't do that here. We really want you to learn from what we're putting out, and we put a lot of work into it. We hope you'll check that out. We'll have a link in the comments, and it's actually pretty rare for us to do a free webinar, so you should take advantage of that. But this person, this really struck me. So at the end of this webinar, they offered a free strategy session. Be heavy for the heavy pressure. This is where they close the deal. You're the target, and they need to get you to sign on the dotted line and give them the credit card number by the end of the call. That's the goal. At the end of the strategy session, I paid Sally $12,000 with no real details about what I would get for the money. And then here's what I got. A day-long session with her in person to design a program. Okay, folks, it's going to take longer than a day to design your program, okay? Ongoing support, which amounted, this one really gets me, a 1 to 2 hour conference call with her and 2 of her other clients once a week for months. Combining the clients together during an account service. I've never even thought of that. It's brilliant. You make 3 times as much money, do you see? Sally's just got this down. She bought me lunch that day. She also had snacks, really fancy snacks. And then I got a 3-ring binder for my program that was a bunch of printed worksheets that were to fill in during the day. Sally admitted they were really just a rehash of the worksheets she had been given at the marketing program she originally attended. So the program she designed could be summed up this way. Charge at least twice as much as everyone else. Ask all your friends and family in a aggressive and demanding way. In the strategy session, she talked about how much money by doubling your fees. The program she designed and looked and sounded a lot like the program she used to sell me. And it goes on. It's a pretty long article. And it gives some pretty good tips, I think. But understand, this person's very cynical, but I think they have a good reason to be cynical. Here's behind the scenes guide to the free webinar. Tell people why they need to do something, but they don't tell them how to do it, right? We've talked about that. They talk about their pain points, make them feel the pain, but not how to do anything about it. Create a vivid image in their mind of how much better life will be once they buy your product. You see, none of this is going to happen at our webinars. Don't tell them how much it will cost. Leave that for the strategy session and only tell them the price at the end. All of these games, our pricing is on our website. We're just absolutely transparent, and it's really a drag that this person, did fall for this. But again, I mention it because it's something that happens over and over and over again. And are things that we hear back from people that happen over and over again. And these numbers that people are throwing out. I have a friend that has a different agency, a small agency, and they recently had a client pay just cold a vendor $62,000 in advance. And this is a startup company with no revenue. $62,000. Laurel here paid $12,000 to get a sales pitch. There's some things in that article I don't really agree with, but most of it just shows me that this person now has really built a wall that my business as a consulting firm has to overcome. If you have a consulting firm, a coaching firm, management consulting, any kind of B2B service business, some version of Laurel's buyer's journey is your customer's buyer journey, right? And so that's why I thought that article, it was worth enough to have on the screen for a long period of time, which we know drives everyone away. But I like to look at it and read and try to get the words right. But there's a lot of pain, a lot of very expensive pain out there, and I think that's today's lesson. And I actually was doing some searching on this topic today, and I ran across a whole lot of articles. Got my got my iPad here. And what really struck me was that the the articles themselves about how to not get ripped off by your marketing firm or your most of them are about digital marketing firms, right? And we have the position that there is no such thing as a digital marketing firm. There is marketing, and then there are digital tactics. Okay, there's no such thing as digital marketing. But most of the articles were guilty of the exact same sin that they were talking about. The articles devolved into sales pitches for the agency's services. Basically, hey, everybody's trying to rip you off except us. One even said literally, what you should do is hire us! Exclamation point. For me, it's a red flag when I see an exclamation point in business copy. That's usually when I'm like, uh-oh, there's a problem here. Whoever wrote the copy anyway. But keep those exclamation points out of there. Any good editor will tell you that, and so will the AP Style Guide. And so we have, we're snobs about business writing around here, that's for sure. But I hope today's episode has helped you sort of sort out, look, some of the, let's I'll try to review some of the red flags and break this down for you. Overpromising, a lot of overpromising, right? That excitement, that painting a picture of what we call, the future state, the picture of a future state or the promise of a future state. The classic example used in sales training is the yacht salesman. It's very easy for that yacht salesman to think that he's selling the promise of a future state, which is, hey, you're the king of the marina, right? You're the cool guy on the block. And that's the thing that puts the customer over the edge and closes them. That sort of emotional wanting of that future state, when in reality it's a pain-driven sale. And if you don't understand that, you're not going to sell a yacht. And the pain might be, the neighbor got a yacht even bigger than this yacht. Okay, so the real pain is, I feel like a smaller man at the marina, so I need a bigger yacht because I've got more money than sense. And no offense to all you yacht owning guys, if you own a yacht, happy to talk to you. You let me know. We'll go, maybe we could do it on your yacht. Wouldn't that be fantastic? I do most of my fishing in the frozen food section, though, just so you know. That's my big adventure usually for the day. You can get salmon there. They're already dead, which is awesome. No gutting, because if you have to gut your own food, well, what kind of a nation is this? Anyway, back to the topic at hand. Is it time? Here's the screen that we always have to go to. I'm back. The system, sometimes it gets away from us. We have technical difficulties. We have to iron them out. Or the host gets distracted and has to get back on topic. Sometimes that happens as well. So the red flags, overpromising. Vagueness, I think, is a big one. Being vague, right? Like talking a lot about the thing, but not really putting any detail behind it or showing a case study or saying, hey, here's how it works. I mean, sometimes just being able to write it out, hey, what's your process? Can you write that out on a whiteboard? Can you illustrate it, right? If they can't, it's something to think about. A lot of these articles that I found said, look at how many ratings they have. Well, most legit consulting businesses don't participate in any ratings types of things like Yelp. Like, I wonder what my Yelp listing is. Please don't go to Yelp and I don't even know if I'm there or not. But we don't pay attention to that kind of thing. So ratings don't mean much. Referrals mean nothing. Of course, every agency is going to give you a long list of people that absolutely love them, and that's kind of the deal there. I mean, so it's really hard to evaluate. Some of the articles said, get a number of different quotes, okay? Figure out what you need first. Remember the empty worksheets where you have to do all the work, right? That's not what an agency should do. But in other words, solve all your problems, let us know what you want, we'll make a quote on that. Problem is those quotes are going to be radically different. You're not buying desks, you're buying an intangible service that is yet to happen. You're buying a promise in a way. And so how well do you trust this person? What makes them credible? For me, it's hard to fake experience. Like if they've been doing the same job for a long time, and nowadays with LinkedIn, right, you can find that out, right away. Hit somebody's profile. Look at that work history. How'd they come up from the ranks? How long did it take? Where have they been? What's their educational background? Just for fun. I mean, now more and more often now, people have jobs different from what they got their degree on. But marketing and marketing theory is the foundation of it. Really does come from school. So I think it's an important thing. But that doesn't always predict future performance. I think in a lot of cases, and I find this with new business development people, new salespeople, it's very difficult to predictively say how someone's going to perform. You have to almost start working with them and see how that goes. That's why I think in the marketing industry, sprints have become very popular, where the client always hopefully has an out if the agency or the consultant is not doing their job. Now, in so many cases, the client isn't doing their job, and that's a bigger problem. But we'll talk about that on a different day. But those are some of the red flags. A good consultant's going to ask really good questions. They're going to be getting to the heart of the matter very fast. They're going to be willing to tell you the truth. They're not there to appease you, right? They're not doing appeasement consulting or appeasement marketing, right? Their goal is not to make you happy. It's to solve your problem, right? Another red flag is, she brought up a good one, and I'm going to look it up real quick. Well, giving your credit card at the end of some webinar, I've never even heard of that. So that's pretty ballsy. Like Sally, whoever Sally is, and Linda, man, they got it worked out. They must have gone to some other school than me. She says, don't let your desire to get rid of pain cloud your good judgment. I think that's pretty good advice, although it depends on the pain. If you're lying in the street bleeding and somebody runs up to you and says, I'm a doctor, it's going to be very unlikely that your next question is going to be, hold it a second, how much, right? I mean, it's, you probably won't even be like, oh, I'm shot, what kind of doctor are you? Hopefully not a dentist or a doctor of education. That's what now you're like, oh, just kill me now, right? But I think there's more at our blog. If you suspect your ad agency or your marketing firm, your digital marketing people, your team, your mechanisms aren't working, hey, let me know, right? We have different ways of looking at that coldly from an objective view. And the big thing I want to share today is we realized that we are in a recession technically now, and I realized that this is actually my fifth one. This is my fifth recession as owning this business. And so we have learned a thing or two about navigating recessions. And we're going to be sharing, my friend Bill Lowell and I, who've worked together for all of these years. And we've helped a lot of companies, including our own, shepherd their way through these recessions. And we're going to share with you some of the things that we've seen work for clients, things that have worked for us, tragic stories of mistakes that we're going to help you avoid in the CEO's Guide to Recession Marketing, 7 crucial strategies, I believe, 7 proven strategies. I heard a rumor there's more than 7 because we try to deliver more value than these vapid, empty-headed webinars that waste everybody's time. Ours is coming up November 9th at 11 o'clock, so we'll put a link to it down in the comments. And I want to also personally, if you've made it this far in the video, we've been on for about 26 minutes, something like that. We got a little late start. If you're still on, I want you to comment, right? If you made it this far in the video, I want you to comment. You can comment even just nonsense if you want. Or what would be even greater is if you shared your own experience, if you got over your embarrassment and share your experience with this marketing industry that has evolved over the course of many years into a very elaborate sort of con game in many cases. Now, it's just going to depend really on an agency by agency, a person by person basis. But when you hear it coming back from, let's say, 100%, and I'm not exaggerating, 100% of the clients that come to us tell us these stories, and there's these common themes to them, right? These red flags, and when that happens every time. Now, granted, we're researchers, right? So we have to give these caveats. It's a slanted sample because these are all people that need help with problems. You know, clients that don't have problems generally don't seek out help for them. But what's amazing to us is the remarkable consistency of kind of what goes on with the marketing dollars that they are spending. And that, I think, is where it becomes a problem. And so, you know, we're here every Thursday at 11 o'clock here on LinkedIn, laying down the B2B marketing knowledge for you. Because we want you to be a more educated buyer. We want to help you avoid the kind of stuff we talked about today. It's crazy out there. Be careful. Drive careful. Be careful on LinkedIn. See you next Thursday.